Sourabh Gupta with the Institute for China-America Studies. He's a senior Asia-Pacific International Relations Policy Specialist. Is that a good move on their part to having military drills right before you have talks to talk about peace?
Not exactly, and not with those strategic assets, frankly. But I think there's sufficient confidence built up on both sides that they can overlook it. I mean, the North Koreans could overlook it on this occasion.
Yeah, we heard the U.S. president saying something very meaningful. He's really promoting the fact that he thinks something big can come of this. But I was struck by the fact that Reykjavik in '86, Reagan and Gorbachev, everybody high expectations. It collapsed. Those talks collapsed. Vienna in '61, Kennedy and Khrushchev. The buildup, it could result in something good, but it could also collapse. I mean, is there a danger in promoting this as much as the U.S. president is?
Oh, yes, there is absolutely that danger because, yes, indeed, there is a huge risk involved. What I would say is different from the previous ones which you just mentioned with the U.S. and the Soviets is that the U.S. and DPRK have talked with each other at the negotiating table intermittently over 25 years and have a very good sense of what each wants. It just wasn't clear that either party was going to go the full distance in reaching out to that party. I get the sense that moment has arrived when the two can really reach out and go all the way to what the other person's key asks are. But that having been said, there are a lot of definitional issues out here and a lot of interpretation-related issues, and they need to be on the same page on that. And if they are not, we just don't know, and we don't have that much information on that front.
Tim Spellman's story, these gentlemen return, the prisoners. It's a great photo op for the U.S. president. He can get out there and say, look, we got these guys home. They come back with Mike Pompeo. But the man who wrote The Art of the Deal knows that in a deal, I give you something, you give me something in return. So what do you think Kim Jong-un wants? Because this is a goodwill gesture on his part. What do you think he's asking for? What's one of his asks?
Oh, I think his asks are well known, but they are going to be far-reaching in the sense he's going to ask what has not been done before in all these negotiations is quickly transforming that armistice agreement into a full peace treaty. That is one of his key asks, and that needs to be done. That has never really been telegraphed clearly from the U.S. side. Another one is he needs clear security assurances. And frankly, I would feel the security assurances are best given not just by the U.S., but also by Beijing, so that Beijing also is a player out here. And over and above that, he wants to be fully integrated into the international economic system, sanctions removed, and he wants normalization. Now, normalization can wait a little bit because that will have to be linked to the human rights conversation. But at least we can have a pathway to normalization. And if he can get these, I think he is going to be sufficiently happy.
It's a unique situation. The United States has a president who is a reality TV star, understands TV, the TV moments, the flourishes. Undoubtedly, he must have watched Moon Jae-in and Kim Jong-un meeting in the DMZ. It was quite dramatic to watch that. As a spectacle, what do you expect? What are we going to see in Singapore?
Oh, I'd absolutely expect something dramatic out there. Of course, it's not going to be on the DMZ, and that would have added huge significance to that. But I think it was the U.S. side which did not want to go to the DMZ simply because it would have given a inter-Korean reconciliation-related tinge to that meeting, and the Americans want this meeting to be really about denuclearization. So let's get it away from that aspect and and that's why host it in Singapore. It's going to be dramatic. There's no question about it. This is the first meeting between a U.S. president and a North Korean leader, so I expect that drama to be there. But because the two sides know each other's key asks, and have sat across each other for very intensively, I actually feel this is not just going to be fantasy talk in the air, but they know that at least they must have a very concrete statement of principles coming out of this meeting.
It'll be fascinating to watch, and it's coming up. We know a date, we know a place. Thanks so much, Sourabh Gupta.
Thank you.